Welcome back to our channel, Voice of English. Today, we are going to talk about something that can completely change the way you see yourself and the way the world sees you. Talking smart without perfect English. Many people believe they must speak perfect English before they can sound intelligent, confident, or professional. But here's the truth. You don't need perfect English to talk smart. You need clear ideas, confidence, and the right habits. Some of the smartest communicators in the world are not native English speakers. Yet people respect them, listen to them, and trust them. Why? Because smart speaking is not about perfection. It is about connection. Today, I will show you how you can talk smart, even if your English is not perfect yet. Let's begin. Tip 1. Focus on message, not perfection. The biggest mistake English learners make is trying to sound perfect instead of trying to sound clear. Many learners believe that if their grammar is not perfect, people will judge them or think they are not intelligent. Because of this fear, they start focusing too much on every small detail. They think about tenses, vocabulary, pronunciation, and sentence structure all at the same time. This creates pressure in the brain. When you chase perfection, you become nervous. You speak slowly. You overthink every word. And sometimes, you stop speaking completely. This is dangerous because language is a tool for communication, not a test you must pass every time you speak. But smart speakers focus on one simple question. Did people understand my message? Because communication is not a grammar exam. It is about sharing ideas, solving problems, building relationships, and expressing thoughts clearly. Think about this example. If you say, "Yesterday I go meeting and we discuss project problem." Is it perfect English? No. Is it understandable? Yes, and that is powerful. In real life, people care more about understanding you than checking your grammar. If your idea is clear, your communication is successful. People don't remember perfect grammar. They remember clear ideas. They remember confidence. They remember how you made them feel. Many successful business people, leaders, and professionals speak English with small mistakes. But people still respect them because their message is clear and strong. Now the question is, how do you practice focusing on message instead of perfection? First, focus on your main idea. Before you speak, quickly ask yourself, what is the one thing I want people to understand? If you know your main idea, your brain will naturally choose simple and clear words. Second, don't stop if you make mistakes. Mistakes are normal. Even native speakers make mistakes. Smart speakers don't panic. They continue speaking. Confidence is more important than perfection. Third, speak slower, not quieter. When you speak slowly, your brain gets time to organize thoughts. Your voice sounds calmer and more confident. But do not speak too quietly. Speak clearly so people can hear you easily. Fourth, accept progress instead of perfection. Your English will improve step by step. Every conversation is practice. Every mistake is a lesson. Every try makes you stronger. Remember this powerful truth. Perfect English is good. Clear English is powerful. If people understand your ideas, respect your confidence, and connect with your message, then you are already speaking smartly, even if your English is not perfect yet. And that is what real communication is about. Tip 2. Use simple words with confidence. Many learners think smart speaking means using big vocabulary. They believe that if they use long, complicated words, people will think they are more intelligent or more educated. Because of this, they try to memorize difficult words and use them in conversations, even when they are not comfortable with them. But smart speakers understand something very important. Smart speaking is not about showing how many big words you know. It is about making sure people understand you clearly and quickly. That is why smart speakers use simple words, but they use them with strong confidence. Simple words are powerful because they are direct. They go straight to the listener's brain without confusion. When people understand you easily, they feel comfortable listening to you. And when people feel comfortable, they trust you more. Why simple words work better? First, they are easy to understand. When you use simple words, your listener does not need to think too hard to understand your message. This keeps the conversation smooth and natural. Second, they reduce mistakes. Complicated words are harder to pronounce and harder to use correctly. Simple words help you speak more accurately and with less stress. Third, they make you sound natural. In real life, most native speakers use simple, clear language in daily conversations. Speaking simply makes you sound more real and more relatable. Fourth, they help you speak faster and smoother. When you use words you are comfortable with, your brain works faster. This helps you avoid long pauses and overthinking. Let's look at an example. Instead of saying, "I would like to utilize this opportunity," say, "I want to use this opportunity." Same meaning, more natural, more powerful. Simple language does not mean weak language. Simple language means strong communication. Smart speakers don't try to impress people with vocabulary. They impress people with clarity, confidence, and strong ideas. Think about great teachers, leaders, and speakers. They often speak in a way that even a young student can understand. That is not weakness. That is mastery. Now let's talk about how you can practice this skill. Practice exercise. Explain your idea like you are talking to a friend. If your friend understands you easily, you are speaking smart. You can also try this method. When you learn a new difficult word, also learn a simple version of that word. This gives you flexibility. If you forget the difficult word, you can still communicate easily. Another powerful habit is to ask yourself, is there a simpler way to say this? Most of the time, the simpler version will be better for communication. Remember this, you don't need big words to sound smart. You need clear ideas and confident delivery. Because at the end of the day, people don't remember how complicated your words were. They remember how clearly you made them understand. And that is the real power of smart speaking. Tip 3. Confidence beats grammar. Here is something most people never tell English learners. Confidence can hide small mistakes, but fear can make even correct English sound weak. Many learners spend years studying grammar, memorizing rules, and learning vocabulary. But when it is time to speak, they feel nervous. Their voice becomes quiet. Their sentences become shorter. Their ideas become unclear. Not because they don't know English, but because they don't believe in themselves. Confidence changes everything. When you speak with confidence, people focus on your message. When you speak with fear, people focus on your mistakes. Imagine two people. Person one speaks perfect English, but sounds nervous. They avoid eye contact. They speak very quietly. They stop often because they are afraid to make mistakes. Person two makes small grammar mistakes, but speaks with confidence. They speak clearly. They maintain eye contact. They sound calm and sure. Who sounds smarter? Usually person two, because people trust confidence. Confidence signals leadership, knowledge, and self-belief. Even if your English is not perfect, confidence tells people, I know what I am saying matters. Confidence is not about being loud. It is not about being aggressive. It is about being calm, clear, and certain. So how can you build speaking confidence? First, stand or sit straight. Your body affects your mind. When you keep good posture, your brain feels more confident. A straight back and relaxed shoulders make you look and feel stronger. Second, look at people when you talk. Eye contact shows honesty and confidence. You don't need to stare. Just look at the person while you speak, then look away naturally, then look back again. Third, speak slightly slower than normal. When you speak too fast, you sound nervous. When you speak a little slower, you sound more in control. It also gives you time to think about your next words. Fourth, smile when you speak. A small smile makes your voice sound warmer and friendlier. People can hear a smile even if they cannot see your face. Another important thing to remember is this: confidence grows with action, not waiting. You don't become confident first and then speak. You speak first, and confidence grows over time. Every time you speak, you train your brain to feel more comfortable. Every conversation is practice. Every small success builds your confidence step by step. Also remember, people don't expect perfection. They expect sincerity. They expect effort. They expect honesty. Most listeners are not analyzing your grammar. They are listening to your idea. Confidence is not about being perfect. It is about believing your words matter. It is about trusting your voice. It is about giving yourself permission to speak, even if you are still learning. And here is the powerful truth. If you speak with confidence, people will remember your message. If you speak with fear, people may only remember your hesitation. So choose confidence. Because smart speaking is not about perfect grammar. It is about strong presence, clear ideas, and believing that your voice deserves to be heard. Tip 4. Think before you speak. This is one of the biggest secrets of smart speakers. They don't rush. They don't try to speak faster than their brain can think. They take a moment, and then they speak clearly. Even a 2-second pause can make you sound more intelligent. It gives your brain time to organize your words. It gives your listener time to focus on you. And most importantly, it shows control. Why does this work? Because fast, rushed speaking often sounds nervous. It sounds like you are afraid of silence. It sounds like you are unsure about your words. But calm, controlled speaking sounds confident. It sounds like you know what you want to say. It sounds like you respect your words and your message. Think about strong leaders, teachers, or confident speakers. They don't talk like a machine. They pause, they breathe, they choose their words carefully, and people listen more closely. Many English learners make one big mistake. They think speaking fast means speaking well. But speed is not intelligence. Clarity is intelligence. It is better to speak slowly and clearly than fast and confusing. Silence is not your enemy. Silence is power. When you pause, people feel that your next words matter. How to practice thinking before speaking, before answering a question. Take one deep breath. Think about your main point, then speak. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need big vocabulary. You need clear thinking. You can also practice this in daily conversations. If someone asks you something, don't panic. Don't rush to fill the silence. Pause, smile, then answer. Another powerful trick: speak in short sentences, one idea at a time. This helps your brain stay calm. This helps your listener understand you better. Remember, Seth, smart speakers don't try to impress people with speed. They impress people with clarity. This one habit alone can make you sound smarter instantly. Because when you think before you speak with purpose. You speak with confidence. You speak with power. And over time, this habit changes everything. Your English becomes clearer. Your confidence becomes stronger. And people start taking your words seriously. Your goal is not to speak fast. Your goal is to speak clearly, calmly, and with intention. Take your time. Think first, then speak. That is how smart speakers communicate. Tip 5. Use examples when you don't know words. One of the most common challenges English learners face is forgetting words, especially during conversations. You know what you want to say in your mind, but the right word in English just doesn't come out. It happens to everyone, even native speakers sometimes. And here's the truth. That is perfectly okay. Smart speakers don't panic when they forget a word. They don't stop the conversation. They don't stumble and apologize repeatedly. Instead, they find a way to keep communicating clearly. And one of the simplest and most powerful tools they use is examples. Why examples work so well? Because communication is not about showing off your vocabulary. It's about making your message understandable. It's about solving a problem for your listener. It's about being clear and keeping the conversation moving. Let's look at an example. Imagine you forget the word calculator. Instead of stopping and saying, "I don't know the word," you could explain it. The machine we use for math numbers. Even though you didn't say the exact word, your listener understands perfectly. Your conversation continues smoothly, and you still sound confident and smart. Here's another example. Suppose you forget the word umbrella. You can say, "the thing we use when it rains to stay dry." The listener instantly knows what you mean. This is exactly how smart speakers handle gaps in vocabulary. They don't let missing words block their communication. They find creative ways to make the listener understand. Using examples has multiple benefits. It keeps the conversation flowing. When you pause or stop because you don't know a word, the energy of the conversation drops. Examples allow you to continue confidently without awkward silence. It shows problem-solving ability. People notice when you can explain ideas even when you don't have the perfect word. This makes you appear clever and resourceful. It builds confidence. When you practice using examples, you realize that missing a word is never the end of communication. You always have a way to continue. It makes you sound natural. Real conversations are not perfect. Even fluent speakers use descriptive explanations for words sometimes. Using examples is completely normal and human. How to practice this habit? Make a list of common words you forget. Then write simple ways to describe them in English. For instance, word example explanation calendar. The thing we use to see days and dates. Chair, the thing we sit on at a table. Wallet, where we keep money and cards. During conversations, allow yourself to pause for a moment to think of an example if the word doesn't come. A short pause makes you sound thoughtful, not nervous. Remember, the goal is understanding, not perfection. The listener only needs to know your meaning, not the exact word. Daily exercise. Pick 5 words you struggle with each day. Write 1 or 2 examples to describe each word. Practice saying the examples out loud until it feels natural. Over time, this will become second nature. You will never be stuck, even when your vocabulary fails you. Here is the key mindset shift. Communication is about connection, clarity, and problem solving. Vocabulary is a tool, not a test. If your message reaches the listener, you have succeeded, even if you didn't say the perfect word. Remember, smart speakers are not judged by the number of words they know. They are judged by how clearly and confidently they get their ideas across, even when words fail. So next time you forget a word, don't panic. Use examples, describe it, explain it, solve the listener's problem, and keep speaking smartly, because real communication is about ideas, not just words. Tip 6. Listen more, speak better. Smart speakers are not only good at talking, they are excellent listeners. Many English learners make one big mistake. They focus so much on what they want to say that they forget to listen. They worry about grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and what comes next, all while the other person is still speaking. This creates confusion, misunderstandings, and often causes people to miss important points. But smart speakers know a simple secret. Listening is the foundation of smart speaking. When you listen carefully, you gain several advantages. You learn new words naturally. When someone uses a word or phrase you don't know, you have the opportunity to pick it up. This is one of the fastest ways to improve your vocabulary. Instead of memorizing words from a book, you learn them in context, in real-life conversations, and they stick much longer in your memory. You understand the style of conversation. Listening allows you to notice how native speakers or fluent English speakers form sentences, use expressions, and control their tone. You observe which words make people feel included, interested, or persuaded. This awareness helps you speak more naturally in your own conversations. You answer more accurately. When you really listen, you understand the question or topic fully. This means your response will be more precise, relevant, and thoughtful. Instead of guessing or giving a half-formed answer, your words carry meaning and impact. People notice this, and it makes you sound smarter instantly. A simple strategy to practice listening is the 70-30 rule. Listen 70% of the time, speak 30% of the time. This doesn't mean you stay silent for hours. It means you give more space to others. You focus on understanding before responding. You gather information, emotions, and intentions from the speaker. Then, when it's your turn to speak, your words are powerful because they are carefully informed. Listening more also reduces mistakes. When you take the time to hear and understand, you're less likely to misinterpret and less likely to respond incorrectly. You speak with confidence because your response is grounded in reality, not guesswork. How to practice listening effectively. Give full attention. Put away distractions. Don't check your phone or think about what you'll say next. Show with your body language that you are listening. Nodding occasionally or saying small words like "I see" or "interesting" signals engagement. Don't interrupt. Let the other person finish completely before you speak. Even if you think you know what they are going to say, wait. This shows respect and allows you to process all the information. Paraphrase or summarize. Before answering, repeat the main point in your own words. For example, "So you're saying that the project deadline has been moved to Friday?" This shows that you understood, and it gives the other person a chance to clarify if needed. Notice patterns. Pay attention to words, phrases, or expressions that are used frequently. These are tools you can use in your own speaking. Focus on feelings as well as words. Listening is not only about words. Notice tone, pauses, and emphasis. This helps you match your response to the mood and style of the conversation. The hidden power of listening. When you speak less and listen more, your words become rare and valuable. People pay attention because they know that when you speak, it matters. You don't waste words. You speak with purpose, precision, and impact. Remember, the world's best communicators, leaders, teachers, negotiators, and influencers spend far more time listening than speaking. They understand that words are only effective when they are well-timed, clear, and informed. Practice this habit daily. In every conversation, focus on listening first, responding second. Over time, your vocabulary, tone, style, and confidence will grow naturally. When you combine strong listening with clear thinking and simple words, you become unstoppable. Your words gain power. Your ideas get respect. And your English improves faster than you ever imagined. Listen more, speak better. It's not just advice, it's the secret habit of every smart speaker. Tip 7. Progress is better than perfection. Here is a truth that many English learners forget. Perfect English is not the goal. Progress is. If you wait for perfection, you will never start. You might think, I need to know every word first. I need to practice my grammar until it's flawless. I can't speak until I sound confident. The problem is, if you wait, time passes, and your English stays the same. Smart speakers understand this secret. Confidence starts before perfection. Every time you speak, you are making progress. Every time you make a mistake, you are learning. Every time you try, you build strength. Think about it. Even native speakers make mistakes. They mispronounce words. They use the wrong tense. They sometimes forget words. Yet they speak anyway. And people understand them. Your English doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be heard, understood, and clear enough to communicate your ideas. How to practice this mindset? Start speaking today. Don't wait for a perfect moment. Don't wait until your grammar is flawless. Don't wait until your vocabulary is complete. Speak now. Even one sentence a day is progress. Treat every conversation as practice. Each interaction is training for your brain. Each sentence you say strengthens your fluency. Even if you make mistakes, you are improving. See mistakes as opportunities. Every error teaches you something. Maybe you learned the right word. Maybe you improved pronunciation. Maybe you discovered a better way to explain your idea. Mistakes are proof that you are trying. Celebrate small wins. Did you explain a complicated idea? Did someone understand you without asking you to repeat? Did you use a new word correctly? These are victories. Small steps lead to big progress over time. Stop comparing yourself to others. There will always be people who speak better English than you, but their progress doesn't stop your progress. Focus on your own journey. Improvement is personal. Focus on improvement, not approval. Your goal is not to impress. It's to communicate, to grow, to learn. If you speak clearly and try every day, confidence naturally grows. Approval and perfection will follow, but only if you first act. Here's an example. Imagine you're at work and need to explain a project idea. You might worry, what if I use the wrong word? What if my grammar is wrong? Instead of waiting, you speak. Our goal is to finish this project faster. We can start by dividing tasks clearly. Maybe you said faster instead of more efficiently, or your tense was slightly off. Does it matter? No, the team understands your idea. You practiced speaking under pressure. You gained confidence. You improved. Over time, these small actions stack up. Speaking becomes easier. Mistakes happen less. Confidence grows naturally. Remember, perfection is a myth. Progress is real. The world doesn't reward flawless English. It rewards action, clarity, and courage. The person who keeps speaking, learning, and improving will always outshine the person who waits for perfection. So start today. Speak imperfectly. Learn every day. Celebrate each step forward. Because smart speakers don't wait for perfection. They speak, they learn, they progress. And in the end, that is what makes them truly powerful communicators. Final message. Talking smart without perfect English is not only possible, it is realistic, achievable, and within your reach. Many learners believe that speaking English perfectly is the only way to be taken seriously. But that is a misconception. Smart speaking is not about flawless grammar, perfect pronunciation, or using complicated vocabulary. It is about something much deeper: clarity, confidence, connection, and courage. Clarity means your ideas are understood. It doesn't matter if one word is missing or slightly incorrect. People remember your message, not your mistakes. Confidence means you speak with belief in yourself and your ideas. Even if your English is not perfect, confidence makes your words sound powerful. Confidence turns small sentences into memorable statements. Connection means you reach people's hearts and minds. You listen, understand, and respond in ways that make others feel respected, seen, and engaged. Even simple words can create a strong bond if spoken with attention and sincerity. Courage means you speak even when you feel nervous, even when you don't know every word, even when you make mistakes. Courage is the key that turns hesitation into action and practice into progress. Remember, your accent does not reduce your intelligence. Your mistakes do not reduce your value. Your voice matters, and people want to hear it. The path to smart speaking is simple. Speak, learn, improve, repeat. Every conversation is practice. Every error is a lesson. Every attempt builds skill and confidence. The more you act, the faster you grow. There is no shortcut, but consistent effort pays off. One day, you will look back and realize something incredible. You were smart all along. You always had ideas worth sharing. You always had the ability to communicate. You only needed the confidence to speak. So take that step today. Speak imperfectly. Speak boldly. Speak with purpose. Your words have power. Your ideas have value. And with every word, you are becoming the smart, confident English speaker you have always wanted to be. Because speaking smart is not about perfection. It's about showing the world your voice, your mind, and your courage.